Hi, and we are here to talk about computer data storage or storage. Data storage is the holding of data in an electric magnetic form for access by a computer processor. There are two main kinds of storage. Primary storage is the data that is held in RAM and other memory devices that are built into computers. Examples are magnetic storages such as floppy disk. A floppy disk, also called a floppy, diskette, or just disk, is a type of disk storage composed of a disk of thin and flexible magnetic storage medium, sealed in a rectangular plastic carrier lined with fabric that removes dust particles. Floppy disks are read and written by a floppy disk drive. When did floppy disk go out? In 1984, it introduced the high density floppy disk for the PC, which could store 1.2 megabytes of data, capacious at the time. It produced the 3.5-inch floppy drives that became the mainstay of computing in the 1990s. Then, as the profit margins for floppy drives shrunk, IBM got out of the business. What was the size of the first floppy disk? The original floppy disk, a storage media made from a flexible and thin magnetic disk enclosed in a plastic wrapper, was invented in the late 1960s and produced commercially by IBM in 1971. The first disks were a whopping 8 inches across and stored 1.2 MB of data if optimally configured. The first 8-inch floppy disk had a storage capacity of about 80 kilobytes by 1986. Next is tape. Magnetic tape data storage is a type for storing digital information on magnetic tape using digital recording. Modern magnetic tape is most commonly packaged in cartridges and cassettes. The device that performs writing or reading of data is a tape device. Autoloaders and tape libraries automate cartridge handling. For example, a common cassette-based format is a linear tape open, which comes in a variety of densities and is manufactured by several companies. Next is hard disk, a magnetic disk on which you can store computer data. The term hard is used to distinguish it from a soft or floppy disk. Hard disks hold more data and are faster than floppy disks. A hard disk, for example, can store anywhere from 10 to more than 100 gigabytes, whereas most floppies have a maximum storage capacity of 1.4 megabytes. A single hard disk usually consists of several platters. Each platter requires read or write heads, one for each side. All the read or write heads are attached to a single access arm so that they cannot move independently. Each platter has the same number of tracks, and a track location that cuts across all platters is called a cylinder. For example, a typical 84 megabyte hard disk for a PC might have 2 platters and 1053 cylinders. In general, hard disks are less portable than floppies, although it is possible to buy removable hard disks. Next is optical drives. What is the optical drive? Optical drive is a generic name. Drives are usually described as CD, DVD, or Blu-ray, followed by drive or writer, etc. Optical disk drives are an integral part of standalone consumer appliances such as CD players, DVD players, and DVD recorder. An optical disc is an electronic data storage medium that can be written to and read using a low-powered laser beam. Originally developed in the late 1960s, the first optical disc created by James T. Russell stored data as micron-wide dots of light and dark. An optical drive is a piece of computer hardware about the size of a thick, soft-cover book. The front of the drive has a small open or closed button that ejects and retracts the drive bay door. This is how a media like CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray discs are inserted into and removed from the drive. The back end of the optical drive contains a port of a cable that connects to the motherboard. The type of cable used will depend on the type of drive, but is almost always included with an optical drive purchase. Also, here is a connection for power from the supply. Optical disk drive media format. Most optical drives can play and or record onto a large number of different disk formats. Popular optical drive formats include CD-ROM, CD-R, CD-RW, DVD, DVD-RAM, DVD-R, DVD plus R, DVD read-write, DVD plus read-write, DVD-RDL, and so on and so forth. The R in these formats means recordable, and the RW means rewritable. For example, DVD-R disc can be written to just once, after which the data on them cannot be changed, only read. DVD-RW is similar, but since it's rewritable format, you can erase the contents and write new information to it at a later time, as often as you'd like. Next is solid-state disk. Solid-state storage devices that use integrated circuit assemblies as memories to store data persistently. SSD uses electronic interfaces compatible with traditional block input or output hard disk drives, which permit simple replacements in common applications. SSDs have no moving mechanical component. This distinguishes them from traditional electromechanical magnet disks, such as HD disk or floppy disk, which contain spinning disks and movable read or write heads. Compared with electromechanical disks, SSDs are typically more resistant to PC shock, run silently, have lower access time, and lower latency, but expensive than HD disks. Next, we'll talk about memory card. An electric flash memory data storage device used for storing digital information. These are commonly used in portable electronic devices such as digicam, mobile phones, laptop, MP3 player, and video game consoles. The video game consoles use memory cards to hold save game data. Cartridge-based systems primarily use battery-backed volatile RAM within each individual cartridge to hold save games. Nowadays, home consoles now commonly use hard disk drive storage for save games and allow the use of generic USB flash drive. Next is USB, Universal Serial Bus. A USB is an industry standard developed in the mid-1990s that defines the cable connectors and communications protocols used in a bus for connection, communication, and power supply between computers and electronic devices. It is currently developed by the USB Implementers Forum. USB was designed to standardize connection of computer peripherals to personal computers, both to communicate and to supply electric power. It has become commonplace on other devices such as smartphones, PDAs, and video game consoles. USB has effectively replaced a variety of earlier interfaces such as parallel ports, as well as a separate power chargers for portable devices. And that is all.